Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to the Valentine Invitational on the Heart of America Conference Network. It is our final day of four here from Fayette on what has been a beautiful February weekend in mid-Missouri, and just two more games to go for these teams who are having some great non-conference action in just the second weekend of the college baseball season. Two local teams play today, and then one out of area team joins them. Madonna University taking the long trip here all the way from Livonia, Michigan to come down here to Missouri. They will play two today as they first take on the Columbia College Cougars, a ranked team from 30 minutes just south of here. That will be a 9-inning game, and then at about 2:30, they will face the hosts, Central Methodist, for one final 7-inning affair. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Matt Clark. We hope you all had a very happy and safe Valentine's Day yesterday. And now that we got all the lovey, touchy feelings out of the way, let's get after a little bit of baseball here. And it's good that Columbia College has had this week to reset, right? A tough week at the Springfield tournament where they went 1-3. They have responded with very impressive wins in tight scenarios against both Dakota State and Central Methodist. They beat the Eagles on Thursday afternoon. They took down the Dakota State Trojans by one in a great 7-inning game on Friday afternoon, and they will try to finish undefeated, and I guess you can call them the Valentine Invite champions with a win here today. Meanwhile, they face a Madonna team that got swept in a doubleheader yesterday against Dakota State. They lost the first game to the Trojans 7-5, or actually, correction, let me stand corrected. Madonna won both of those games in the doubleheader. They won 7-5 in game one. They won 17-6 in game two. So this, for all intents and purposes, is effectively your Valentine Invite championship game right here. Winner of this game is going to go home with the overall crown, and it should be a really exciting one between two very established programs. And for Madonna, they had a 4-game series with Indiana Wesleyan over in Hoover, Alabama last weekend, and they split that series. They're in the light blue jerseys today. They're fired up. You could see the two coaches at the mound meeting, or at the plate meeting right now. Darren Munns for Columbia College, and for Madonna, it is Drew Hard in his second season with the Trojans. It's the one that we've been building towards this weekend. Madonna, Columbia College, for all the marbles here in Fayette. And it comes your way next, right here on the Heart of America Conference Network. So time to take a look at our starting lineups. We begin with the Madonna batting order today. Ty Stepic hits first and plays in right field. Cooper Etheridge is the center fielder today, hitting second. Kevin Davis third. Amir Mitchell is fourth. Brett Reed, Luke Spicer, Donovan Thompson in the 5, 6, 7 spots. Simon catches and hits eighth. And Logan Ellis will be out in right field, hitting ninth. And it was Etheridge who had a very good day yesterday, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Mitchell was 2 for 4 in the final game in the doubleheader against Dakota State and picked up 5 RBIs. So he's off to a really good start here in Fayette. Columbia College makes a couple of changes from the team that beat Dakota State 3-2 on Friday, and that includes the left fielder. It'll be a new left fielder in Hutzel today. O'Neill and Carlton retain their places in center and right. Friend still at the hot corner at third. Dunn is at short. Pearl is the new second baseman in place today for Columbia College of Nichols. And then States is at first. Tyler Wren is the catcher. And the pitcher today is Parker Anderson, a junior who has had quite the journey in college baseball in his career. He started the game at College of the Ozarks back on February the 6th. That was one of those tight Cougar losses already this year. They lost that game 3-2. Anderson gave 3 runs up in the second inning, and he ended up going 5 total, struck out 6. So it was just a poor inning that sort of hurt him. There was a couple of errors, unearned runs in that stretch as well. And he starts this one off with a strike to Ty Stepic. We are underway on this Sunday afternoon in Fayette. A little chillier than it was back on Friday, but Madonna played in this sort of weather on Sunday, or on Saturday rather, in their doubleheader sweep. Stepic already down 0-2, and a breaking ball drops low. Parker Anderson started his career at St. Charles Community College. Then he was at East Central last year. Had a 5.24 ERA with East Central before coming to Columbia College. 86 innings in his career. And he also played over the summer with the O'Fallon Hoots. And that's where he really stated his claim as a guy who could play at this level. So he went 3-0 with the Hoots and a 3.86 ERA, 14 innings pitched. Stepic whacks that one down the line. Carlton giving chase, and it's just out of his reach. Try to slide and catch just off your screen. More known for his power, Dylan Carlton, but he can make a play in the field every once in a while as well. So Ty Stepic, leadoff hitter for Madonna. He was 1 for 3 in game 2 of the doubleheader. And 0 for 3 in the first, so he is in the first game of the doubleheader. So 1 for 5 overall for the Madonna baseball right fielder. Ground ball, slow roller to third. Picked up by Friend. And he beat out the throw. Great running from Stepic to pick up an infield single. The Wichita Lake, Michigan native, transfer from Macomb Community College, reaches on an infield hit. Now time for Cooper Etheridge to dig into the box after his impressive day 1 in Fayette. Remember, Madonna will play both games today, one against Columbia College, the other against Central Methodist. And in the first start of the season for Parker Anderson, it was just a tough inning that hurt him. One bad inning, the rest of it went clean. Can he avoid that bad inning early here? Etheridge fouls that off. Dakota State looked awfully impressive on Friday in their 2 games against Columbia College and CMU. So the fact that Madonna took care of them and rather comfortably in the doubleheader sweep yesterday shows the Trojans are not messing around. States hold the runner at first, and that catches the corner for strike two. Early on, Anderson has done a good job getting ahead of hitters. Etheridge from Kellogg Community College. Hit .318 last year in 52 starts, 9 home runs. It's a Madonna team that has had great games at the plate early on in their wins. Scored 11 runs in their final game against Indiana Wesleyan. Good block there by Wren, one of the most experienced catchers, not just here, but in the NAIA in general. One-two. Swing and a miss. Etheridge late on the fastball. And the first strikeout of the day for Parker Anderson. That's sort of what he has had control of in his varsity career. He is now one strikeout away from 100 career strikeouts in college, Parker Anderson. Can he do it with Kevin Davis? He had 55 of them last season with East Central, 37 with St. Charles. He had 6 in his first start with Columbia College. And you total that up with this strikeout just moments ago. That is 99. One of those guys that feels like a journeyman, if you could call that a college term now. Half swing by Davis on the fastball up. You can tell why Anderson has a lot of strikeouts in his career. He's a guy that gets players to chase, puts the ball in uncomfortable positions, forces hitters to swing. Davis, 6'2" junior, takes ball one. Played at third base in the first game of the doubleheader. And also there in game 2 as well, but got pulled late. They let Carson Noon play once they were out of sight against Dakota State in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday. Fouled back, 1-2. This is a Madonna team that has done a pretty good job of keeping a lot of their talent and having a lot of guys retained. Check back at first. He's done that a lot, Anderson. Stepik has had a decent lead. You continue to consider maybe he'd take off here. Here comes Anderson. Strike 3, swinging. And Parker Anderson has recorded his 100th collegiate strikeout. And there are 2 away in the first. Gave up the leadoff single to Stepik, and then faced 2 of the better Madonna hitters head on and got them both. A lot of credit to how aggressive Anderson has been on the mound so far. Can he deal, though, with Amir Mitchell, the designated hitter? Just a tad up. Like we said, Mitchell had a great day 1 for Madonna. 3 for 6, 7 RBIs yesterday. in the 2-game set. That's in a 7-inning span as well. So we only got so many chances at the plate because they were both 7-inning doubleheaders. It's a guy that can hit and drive in some guys as well. Had a home run in the game 2 of that doubleheader. Also stole a base. So this is Mr. Everything at the plate. That's a pop-up into right field down the line. Carlton in foul ground makes the grab for out number 3. So Parker Anderson records a personal milestone and leaves one runner stranded in his first inning of his second start of the season. Jajewski is coming to the mound for Madonna. We come back in just a moment to tell you about the Cougars starting order. No score early on the Heart of America Conference Network. Starting order here for Columbia College. Zach Friend, Dylan Carlton, Tyler Wren, and Braden Hemmer are the starting 4. Nothing changes there for Darren Munns. But some changes in the bottom half of the order with States, O'Neill, Dunn, Hutzel, and Pearl. We will show you the Madonna field after Zach Friend comes to the plate. Led by their starting pitcher today, Ethan Jajewski, junior out of Allen Park, Michigan. Strike one called to Friend, who had a leadoff home run in the game against Dakota State on Fridays. Looked at the first pitch he saw and took it yard. This one he whacks up the middle for a base hit. And a strong week continues for Zach Friend at the top of the order. Madonna's infield, outfield looks like this. Left to right in the outfield, Ellis, Etheridge, Stepik. Davis is at third, Reed at short, Spicer at second. Thompson will go to first, Gus Simon, the catcher, and Jajewski, the starting pitcher, right-hander who loves to use the right side of the mound to deal. Check back on Friend. He's a capable runner over there at first. Jajewski from Henry Ford Community College. Criminal justice major. Pitched 4 innings against Indiana Wesleyan in a loss. Gave up only 1 earned run. A game that Madonna lost 3-2. He was recorded as a no decision there. Only run he gave up was a home run. Struck out 3 in that start as he faces Dylan Carlton, who had a grand slam on Thursday. Friend safe again. Carlton really didn't get a chance to produce on Friday. Struck out, got walked, hit by a pitch, so never even put it in play. But the Seckman High School graduate can do damage, and he's got a base hit into right. Cougar offense starting this Sunday afternoon off strong with back-to-back hits at the top. Now can Tyler Wren keep the good times going? A kid who had 73 hits last season. So far this year, hitting 9 for 16. That's a .563 batting average. Put an exclamation point behind that sentence. He used to be a two-way player, but they only really need him for his hitting now. And a check back at second. Runner safe there. Well, when you're playing a team of Columbia College's caliber, top 25 team in the NAIA, you have to be able to start strong against them or things get shaky. Wren went 0 for 2 in his first game at College of the Ozarks this season, and you knew that little sluggish start was not going to last very long, and it didn't. How about a 5-game hit streak since, and an RBI in each of those 5 games? Wren smokes it back up the middle, a base hit. Here comes Friend around third to make it a 6-game hit streak and a 6-game RBI streak for Tyler Wren as he makes it 1-0 Columbia. Cougars putting the ball in play, getting contact and good contact at that early. And the top of the order, which was the most experienced, that's what Darren Munz has gone with this season, has gotten after Ethan Jajewski in a hurry. Now can Braden Hemmer add on? Good breaking ball to start him out. Played at Moberly Area Community College this last year. The year before he was at Jefferson College, but barely played. Hemmer last year a .368 hitter with 8 home runs and 29 RBIs. Good block there by the catcher, Simon. Different spot for Madonna University. They did trail 3-0 in their second game of the doubleheader against Dakota State and then responded with 13 unanswered runs. 2-2. They also trailed in game 1 against Dakota State. So Madonna being behind is not uncommon for them. They are a team that can bounce back. High fly ball into deep right center. Stepek charging back. That is headed towards the gap and down. Carleton will score easily around second. Wren gets the stop sign at third. RBI double from Braden Hemmer. It's 2-0 Cougars, and Columbia College has started the bottom of the fourth, or the bottom of the first, rather, with 4 consecutive hits. What a start for the top of the order for Columbia College. And for a guy in Braden Hemmer, who picks up his 3rd RBI of the season in the process. He was just 1 for 3 against Dakota State. Did not play against Central Methodist. That's probably the best swing he's put on a ball so far in a Columbia College jersey. Well, everybody knows that idea that hitting is contagious. And right now, Columbia College would like to keep it that way. And they have Madonna on the ropes here in the early going. A chance for Matthew States to make an impact. Tolton High School grad. Just a freshman. Fouled back on the first pitch. Quite a lot of trust for Darren Munns to put States in the 5 spot of his order. But the adjustments he's made to the lineup have already paid off great dividends in just the first inning. And unfortunately for Chejewski, it's not necessarily like he's throwing bad stuff here. Problem is it's great contact. Almost pitching too much into the zone. States takes away. There's a base open here. And maybe that was what the mound visit was there to discuss. Try to get States to chase. Maybe load him up. Put yourself in a better position for a double play ball. Half swing in the turf. Strike 2. States 2 for 6 already on this season, but yet to record an RBI. Best chance he's probably had at one in his collegiate career. Full count. Pretty much every pitch here from Chejewski has been down and away. At least in that area. Does he go back to that here on the payoff pitch? Chejewski deals, and that is high into the air into center. Etheridge backing onto it. It's a catch out there, and the runners will tag. Wren is in to score, and it's a collegiate RBI for Matt States. Columbia College has a 3-0 lead as Matthew States moves the runners on the sac fly. That was plenty deep enough to get Wren in. And it looks like the Cougars are going to make this early damage count. They already have. Can they do more here with Braden O'Neill at the plate? They're going to appeal to second, make sure that the runner tagged properly. And the field umpire said he did. So O'Neill, North Callaway High School grad. Looking bunt here. He pops it foul. How about that? Looking for the squeeze to get another run in. O'Neill hit .316 last year in 47 games, so he comes back with extra experience. Braden spelled B-R-A-D-Y-N. Apart from his teammate Braden Hemmer, it's B-R-A-D-E-N. Foul tip. Good news for Madonna is the first game of our doubleheader today is a 9-inning game. So they have plenty of time to try to make up this ground. Going to be tough, though, with how well Parker Anderson started this game. Looked really strong. His command was amazing. O'Neill, a 2-time Jefferson City Renegade. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch to strike out O'Neill. And if Chejewski can hold that final runner at third base, maybe that's just a small win for him in what has been a difficult inning to traverse. Jack Dunn is next. 7th hitter to come to the plate in this bottom of the first for Columbia College. Dunn just 2 for 15 to start the season. 2 RBIs. Had a big one against Central Methodist on Thursday. 0 for 3, though, against Dakota State on Friday. Also a very capable player in the field. Swing and a foul. And after Jajewski gave up 4 consecutive hits, he is 1 strike away from retiring 3 in a row to limit the damage. Now, Dunn did not feel great on that last swing. He's dropped the bat, and he's taken a look at his left wrist. Darren Munns, who is the head coach and also Columbia College's third base coach, is out to look at him. And I think he may have to make a change for Dunn. Jack Dunn, Columbia College's starting shortstop, is walking back to the bench. Some discomfort on that last swing, which was a foul tip. And it looks like Munns is going to have to replace him here in just the first inning. And it will be Nick Molinax to replace him. The junior out of Dawsonville, Georgia, and Dawson County High School. And what a way for him to get thrusted into the action, right? Sports management major, just played 14 times last season. Did play against Central Methodist on Friday, but we did not see, or rather on Thursday, we did not see him Friday against Dakota State. And Molinax comes in having to finish this at-bat for Jack Dunn. So you do hope for the best for Jack Dunn. I mean, he knew right away after that swing that something was up. And Darren Munns, early in the season, didn't want to risk anything. A big leader in the middle of the infield that Columbia College is going to have to go without for likely the remainder of the game. And Molinax chases that pitch. It's a check swing. Bull gets behind Simon, and it's Hammer who comes in to score. However, it won't count because the umpire does rule that Molinax went around for strike 3. So initially, Hammer looked like he was going to come in to score, but on the pitch, it appeared that Molinax went around swinging, and with that situation, they didn't have to throw to first on that drop third strike. The inning was over just like that. A wild inning, which Columbia College scores 3 runs in. They have the early lead here on the Hart Conference Network. So a couple of changes having to be made there by Darren Mullins in the middle of the inning, in the infield as well. So Nick Molinax replaces Jack Dunn and moves to third. And they're going to put Friend at first as strike 1 is called on the new hitter, Brett Reed, shortstop, against Anderson. It's a very strong first inning for Parker Anderson, and now he has some run support to work with. The run support that he did not have in his first start. That is sent out into left field. Hutzel able to make the catch easily for out number 1. So that's 4 straight retired by Parker Anderson. Now he'll face Luke Spicer. Obviously, the focus is on the here and now for Columbia College, right? But Jack Dunn is such a big piece of this team, a leader at the plate and on the field, that this could be something that impacts them later throughout the season. You got Zach Friend now playing out of position. Looks like a giant at shortstop. Spicer, a little floater into shallow right. Carlton with a sliding catch. What a player out there by Dylan Carlton. Doesn't matter if it's mid-February, you still have to sometimes flash the leather, and Dylan Carlton does so. So unlucky there for Luke Spicer. And now here comes Donnie Thompson, a new add to the Madonna lineup. Thompson from Ypsilanti, Michigan, originally from Kellogg Community College. Grounder to short. Friend in his new position makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for Parker Anderson in the second. That's now 6 retired in a row for the junior. Cougars by 3 early on this Sunday afternoon from Fayette on the Heart of America Conference Network. Carter Hutzel leads off, bottom second from Fayette. I'm sure there are many Madonna fans watching right now that are enjoying the fact that the Crusaders are not having to play in the rain today. It was a long stretch. Those games yesterday took forever. And the doubleheader that Madonna did end up winning. Now can they win in the sun? Nice comebacker snag by Jajewski. And he tosses to Thompson at first to retire Hutzel. And something from the Madonna bench on that last play. I enjoyed that PFP by Jajewski. Sometimes, though, those are the pitcher's favorite plays because you've got full control. And sometimes those are the pitcher's least favorite plays because you got the weight of the world on your shoulders while you're trying to make them. Jason Pearl, the Springfield, Virginia native, in his second season at Columbia College, rather third. Big day for the infielder. It is his first start as a Cougar in this season and only the second in his career. Breaking ball, strike 2. He is looking to really get his collegiate career going. Never gotten a college baseball hit. originally out of West Springfield High School. High fly ball out to center. Etheridge was playing that well on the drift, and he makes the play. They were playing him opposite side there, actually. They were thinking he was going to hit it the other way instead of pull, and Etheridge read that well. So Zach Friend, busy day for him, a single, a run scored, and he's played two different spots in the infield. Now it's going to be up for Jajewski to do better against the top of the order than he did the first time around. Head umpire with a smile as he tossed the ball back to Jajewski. Gotta say, it feels so good to have baseball back. It truly is a one-of-a-kind sport where you can't find things anywhere else but the sport of baseball, the connection, the desire from not just the players but the fans. It truly is the best thing you could do during a Sunday afternoon. Just sit back, watch a little baseball. I think especially when you have this sort of quality as well on these teams. There's a lot of passion, energy. Both teams kind of trying to find their identity early on in the season. Friend has worked the count in his favor here. It's at 3-1. Swing and a miss. And Jajewski, after, again, giving up 4 consecutive hits, he's retired 5 in a row. Anderson's retired 6 in a row on the other end. Friend stays alive. Four hits in his last 3 games. Just 1 RBI, though. Came on that solo home run against Dakota State. Swing and a towering blast into left. Ellis will watch that one fly over the big green wall. A solo shot for Zach Friend. It was a no-doubter off his bat. Well, he got his first home run of the season on Friday, and now he's just doubled his tally with a solo homer in the second to make it 4-0. Home run number 13 in Zach Friend's collegiate career. Took a breaking ball there on a full count pitch from Jajewski and sent it into the trees. It's hardest to get the ball out here in left field. This is definitely a left-handed hitter's ballpark. And Friend just turned on that thing. And what's more impressive about that is Friend sent that ball on Friday to the opposite field. Just barely got over the right field wall. That one was turned on. Carlton's turn. A base hit in the first. And right now, the Columbia College offense is just racking the runs up in the early going. 2-2. There was a pitch earlier in this count where Carlton had a check swing, and they appealed to first base, and the first base umpire wasn't looking. So the home plate umpire said that he went. He did not go there. Full count. Zach Friend's putting himself in the conversation as one of the best leadoff hitters in the NAIA, the way he's playing right now. Strike 3 called. Jajewski gets back and responds after giving up the solo home run. That's strikeout number 3 for the junior. But Friend goes yard for the second straight game. Columbia is up now 4-0 on this Sunday afternoon on the Hart Conference Network. So Gus Simon steps in to get us going in the bottom, or rather the top of the third here from Estes Field in Fayette. And that is a high fly ball down the line and left, and it is all the way into the corner. Simon turns the corner at first. He is into second with a stand-up double. He had 17 extra base hits last year for Concordia Ann Arbor, another NAIA school in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. And how about the 8-man showing a little bit of power to get the third inning going? That breaks Parker Anderson's streak. He was looking very comfortable up until he made a mistake there. And that is a fastball way off the plate. Told you earlier today that Madonna's been in this position before. They've been down in games. They trailed early against Dakota State, not once but twice in the doubleheader yesterday, and still won them both. Ellis playing in left field today. Good layoff there by Ellis. Did not play yesterday, Ellis, in the doubleheader. Well, he played in one of the two games of the doubleheader. He went 1 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. That was in the 7-5 win. That's an RBI chance here with nobody gone in the third. Base hit into left field. Simon got a good jump. They're going to hold him, though, at third. And they're on the corners as Madonna goes back to the top of the order. Simon's double, Ellis's single, and now a great chance for Stepek to get the Crusaders on the board. This would be a huge help for Ethan Jajewski on the other end for Madonna, who's had a little bit of trouble early on against the Columbia offense. Swing and a base hit into left. Simon scores. Madonna is on the board. Their best offensive inning by far so far today. 4-1 is the score. Stepek now 2 for 2 with an RBI. Now can Cooper Etheridge carry that on? Played at Madonna last year and hit .318, 42 RBIs that day. Well, he's been throwing that slider. Finally got it in there for a strike, but right now the Crusader hitters are starting to read that slider better than they were in the first couple innings. 0-2. And now Anderson is set up for the fastball if he wants it. Little loft shot into left. Hutzel tracks to his left and makes the snag. So good answer by Anderson to take care of Etheridge and record the first out of the top of the third. The other thing to keep an eye on here as well is in that game with College of the Ozarks, it was the bottom of the second that hurt Anderson, so he got beat early and then played well later in that game. Seems to be the third inning that could provide him trouble today in what has been a pretty comfortable start up to this point. Kevin Davis hits one into left center field. That's headed towards the gap, and one hops the wall. Ellis will score from second, Stepic moves to third, and it's the second extra base hit of the inning for Madonna. RBI double for Kevin Davis. Someone in the Trojan dugout said he got a barrel on that one, and he was right. How much the momentum can change on just a couple of swings. Parker Anderson came into this inning having retired 3 straight. 4 of the last 5 have recorded a hit on him. And Darren Munns will take a meeting at the mound. We knew the Madonna offense was going to show up. We just didn't know when. Base hits for Davis, Stepic, Simon, and Ellis. Just took one guy to get things going. And now you got to deal with Amir Mitchell. That's probably why the mound visit got cold. Because this is obviously the cleanup hitter, one of the toughest guys to face in the order. The junior from Detroit looking to do more damage. Could tie this game up on one swing. Starts him out with a strike on the corner. Mitchell had 3 RBIs the first weekend. Like we said, he had 3 RBIs in the doubleheader. Good block by Wren. Well, he just saved his pitcher there with that. When it gets to the backstop, a run is in. Mitchell with 7 RBIs yesterday, so he's got 10 on the season. Good pitch, strike 2. Madonna has hit that breaking ball in this 3rd inning, but Anderson is still trusting it. Has thrown some really good pitches to get ahead. Oh, 2 delivery. Smoked into left field, another base hit. Stepic scores, and it's 4-3. Mitchell has RBI number 11 on the season. Anderson fooled him twice with the breaking ball, but could not fool him a 3rd time. Dropped that ball in, and Mitchell made no mistake. And after Madonna had trailed early in this one, 4-0, the Trojans have answered back emphatically. Anderson goes fastball to start Reed off. You do have a potential double play ball in effect. Reed was 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. Mitchell moving late, and he will get to second base without a throw. Amir Mitchell stole a base in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, and he steals one now. No more double play ball for the Cougars. And for the first time today, things get really tense. Two balls, 1 strike. Now all Anderson can do is face the batter. Strike 2. Anderson had that inning where the field didn't help him, gave up some unearned runs against College of the Ozarks. What did he learn from that first start that he can apply here? Chopper right side foul. In a situation like this, a strikeout would be your best friend. Really give you a chance to breathe and just focus on the batter at hand. Foul tip. Great fight off from Reed. Madonna hitters have been really good on 2 strikes today. That's how Mitchell just got his RBI single. Another 2-2. High fly ball, deep right center. O'Neal looking over his shoulder, and it's off the wall again. 2 runs are going to score, and Madonna has the lead. A 5-run inning for the Trojans, thanks to a 2 RBI double from Brett Reed. And the big lead for Columbia College early on this Sunday afternoon has been erased. And that is it for Parker Anderson. Looked so impressive in the first 2 innings, but things unravel for him in the third. And Darren Munns is going to his bullpen early here in this 9-inning affair. 6 hits on the inning for the Madonna Trojans, who are looking to remain unbeaten here in Fayette this weekend. We'll tell you about the new pitcher next. This is the Valentine Invite on the Heart of America Conference Network. New pitcher into the game for Columbia College here in the 3rd inning. It's Jackson Fork relieving Parker Anderson after just 2 1/3 innings of work. Gave up 7 hits, 5 runs for now, although that run at second base, which is Brett Reed, could be credited to him if he scores. And he will start by facing Spicer, who takes strike 1. Fork, a transfer from State Fair Community College. He had 10 1/3 innings pitched last year. Had 2/3 of an inning pitched earlier this season. This could be a longer appearance, though, for him. And a bullpen day for the Cougars. And that is hard hit into left and down for another single for the Trojans. Spicer's on the board with his first hit of the day. That's 4 consecutive hits for Madonna. And 7 hits in the inning. My goodness. Well, not really any team has been able to do this so far this season to Columbia College. CMU scored the most runs on the Cougars. That was 7, and the Cougars still won that game. They lost a lot of close games up in Springfield, but their pitching staff, normally very impressive under Darren Munns, has struggled early on today. Donnie Thompson takes in the turf. He's up 2-0. Grounded out to short his first time up. Just stunning how quickly things unraveled for Parker Anderson after he was so impressive early on. And now, a chance of loading the bases here. There's just one out for Madonna. And that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Thompson. First walk for either team today. And they are loaded up here for the guy who started this rally, Gus Simon. And Darren Munns is going out to the mound for the 3rd time in this inning. For a guy that's got a 2.61 ERA from last season. Only gave up 3 earned runs. Technically, only 2 on the base pads would be charged to him. Now Columbia College has to reset. If you missed it earlier today, Jack Dunn was pulled from the game after an issue maybe with his hand or wrist after a swing at the plate. So the Cougars had to change their infield. Zach Friend is now the shortstop. But really, that hasn't been the piece of why this is a 5-run inning for Madonna. They've just hit the ball well. Columbia's got to start finding a way to get back ahead of hitters like they did in the first 2 innings. Simon had a double to start the 3rd. This is the 2nd time he's hitting in the frame. Fouled away, 0-2. Now it's just about putting one of these guys away, because that has been the ace up Madonna's sleeve. Because on 2 strikes, they have been hunting today. Long wait from Fork, and he'll get a new sign. Steps off. He's a guy that throws a lot of off-speed pitches. That's at least what he showed in the warm-up. 0-2. Simon whacks it to second. Pearl makes the catch, but the runners get back quickly. So it's a line out, but Columbia cannot double up. 2 outs here, and Ellis comes up. So that should calm things down. If you're Columbia, then you got to play at any base. Lot of damage done here for Madonna, but more can be done. And with this being considered maybe a tight game here, keep an eye on this, especially how this inning ends in relation to how this game ends. Still a big opportunity here for Madonna. Pop fly by Ellis. Into left. Hutzel and Friend almost had a miscommunication, but the left fielder calls off Friend and makes the catch. Fork comes in, saves the day, doesn't give up any more, and the bases are loaded, and no one scores in that stretch for Madonna, but they still get 5 runs in the 3rd to completely turn this game in their favor. Trojans now lead by 1 here on the Heart of America Conference Network. So Columbia College got out to a really strong start, scored the first 4 runs of this game, but Madonna did what the Trojans have done best all season, and they've come from behind to pull in front. All of a sudden, Ethan Jajewski has a lead to protect as he faces the meat of the Cougar order, and Wren waves through 1-1. Had to be a long inning for Tyler Wren behind the dish, with everybody coming to the plate. 2 hitters hitting twice in that frame for Madonna. Fly ball center field, a little trouble for Etheridge. It is tough to see the ball out there in the sun, but he does make the snag for out number 1. Chance for Columbia to go undefeated here at the Valentine Invite in Fayette. This is not a invitational they played in last year. Instead, they went to the MNU Classic on the second weekend of February. Actually took the third week of February off. Foul tip by Braden Hemmer. He already has an RBI double today. He had a long wait in the dugout in that past frame because he's the DH. Now for Madonna, the question becomes, can Jajewski give you a couple more strong innings, and then you can hand it to your bullpen, who was pretty good yesterday. Columbia can still consider the fact that they hit Jajewski pretty well. By the way, wind's helping both of these teams out today. It's blowing out, at least from left to right field a little bit. So with that, the ball is carrying, and you think, hey, if the wind was blowing in, some of those swings where Madonna got the ball all the way to the wall, one-hopped the wall a couple times in the top of the third, probably doesn't happen as much. That is tap foul. Things are starting to warm up here in Fayette. Foul in the same spot. We started in the lower 50s. We're going to near 60 today. That'll be probably our high. And then we'll dip back down just a tad by the end of the day. A really good battle here by Hemmer, refusing to go down to that breaking ball as he tries to regain the momentum. Darren Munns called everybody out of the dugout there for Columbia College, trying to get his team to reset after that last inning. Hemmer grounds it to third. Davis's throw across the diamond is good. That's the first action for Kevin Davis in the field today. As for Columbia College, this is the perfect time to get into a groove. Looking to win 3 in a row here before they host Graceland in the midweek. Ground ball to short here, though, by States. And that's 3 up, 3 down for Jajewski in the third. Madonna has turned the momentum in its favor on both sides of the baseball diamond. They lead by 1 on the Heart of America Conference Network. Welcome back. It really certainly feels like the best time for sports. Here in the month of February, it feels like just about everything is going on. You got baseball back into the fray. Of course, I know many people have been keeping close tabs on the Winter Olympics over the last couple of days in Milan Cortina in Italy. Of course, I believe baseball is going to be in the Summer Olympics in 2028, which could be really exciting. July 13th to 19th, 2028. It's going to be at Dodger Stadium. Olympic baseball. Be the first time since 2020 that it played, and that should be super exciting just because of how international the sport has gotten at the professional level. Fork waits and Stepek grounds it foul, so he's got a little Nelson Cortez in him, holding that knee before dealing the pitch. Of course, other sports going on right now. The NBA had All-Star Weekend this past weekend. College basketball is in full flow. Some really good games over the weekend there. And the NHL taking a break for the Olympics. Stepek waves on a breaking ball for strike three. So Fork has his first strikeout out of the bullpen, and he has played a massive role in helping Columbia College maintain at least a little bit of parity here. Made sure that last inning did not get out of hand. I mean, you got to think about it. Bases loaded, confident hitter in Logan Ellis at the plate, and Crusaders could not take advantage. Cooper Etheridge had to walk out of the batter's box after that last pitch. And Etheridge is trying to figure out what the count is. They had it as 1-0 on the, or 1-1 on the scoreboard. It's 2-0. Now it's 2-1. Going to be an important day for Jackson Fork, and a guy who didn't throw that much last season. His most innings in a game last year, 2 1/3, which was in the NAIA opening round game against Tennessee Wesleyan. Etheridge is 0 for 2. Little punch shot towards short. Friend throws on the run, and it's past States and behind him, which means Etheridge is going to move up to second base here. Likely an error on the new shortstop, Zach Friend, and that's the first time where Zach Dunn's injury comes back to bite Columbia College. Not an easy throw for Zach Friend in a place he doesn't normally make it. And Etheridge is on base for the first time today. And now they could turn it to Davis, who really got the third inning going with his RBI double. And a hit by pitch. And all of a sudden, it almost feels a little like the third inning all over again. Out of nowhere, 2 on, 1 out. And not the guy that Columbia College wants to see, Amir Mitchell, stepping back in. A foul out in the first, RBI single in the third, and a run scored. He wanted all of that pitch. Got none of it. By the way, they called an infield single for Etheridge, but he does move up to second on the error. So A single and an E6 is the official scoring there. Pop foul. 0-2. A chance for Amir Mitchell to continue his strong stretch of form. Hit .431 for the Lansing Stars, a JUCO school. Started his career at Charleston Southern, so he began his career at the D1 ranks. And then moved down to JUCO, Lansing Community College, another place that he played as well. And did he go? He did not. Keeps himself alive. Good two-strike discipline again. Forks 1-2 is off the plate. They're going to check back to second. Almost got Etheridge, who was way off the bag and had to scramble back. He took an extra step on his jab to third. He didn't think Wren was going to make that snag, but then he did. Whew. Tight one off the plate. And the count is full. Brett Reed, who had the go-ahead RBI double back in the top of the third, is on deck. Fork's pitch is grounded towards short. Could be two, but Friend elects to only go to first. They do get the out there, but the runners were moving as soon as the ball went in play. And so they're now on second and third for Reed, so it ends up being a productive at-bat for Mitchell. Once again, that injury to Zach Dunn is on full display. They're going to intentionally walk Brett Reed and load the bases for Luke Spicer. So for the second consecutive inning, bases loaded, 2 outs for Madonna. Spicer grounds it to Pearl. Throw over to first in time. And for the second straight inning, Jackson Fork gets out of a bases-loaded jam. No run score for Madonna, but they have come back to take the lead here early. 5-4, a tight one on the Heart of America Conference Network. So 5 runs on 9 hits for Madonna through 3.5 innings here in Fayette. 4 runs on 5 hits for Columbia College. Braden O'Neill to begin the bottom of the fourth. As Jajewski goes back to work, O'Neill shows bunt, lays it down the line. Davis throw. It could not be picked by Thompson. Likely going to be ruled an infield single. The speed of Braden O'Neill giving Columbia maybe a little bit of a spark. And that is a underrated part of Braden O'Neill's game that he can showcase every once in a while. Now it's O'Neill trying, or rather, Mullinax trying to bunt. And he went around there, strike one. O'Neill has yet to steal a base this season. He stole 6 of them last year for Columbia College and stole 11 the summer with the Renegades. So he's got that quick twitch speed ability that he can use. Mullinax chases a fastball, throw down to second on the steal attempt is in time. Gus Simon catches O'Neill stealing. Great throw, fantastic tag out there by Brett Reed, who's had a great day at short. And the lead runner wiped away. Mullinax takes strike 3. How quickly a fire can be put out, even if it's a small one. And Jajewski is in a groove. Give him his 4th strikeout. Remember at the beginning of the game where he gave up 4 consecutive hits? He's almost pitching a completely different way now. And unfortunately, the success that the top of the Columbia order has had at times is not translating to the bottom of the order. Hutzel lines one straight to Spicer for out number 3. Columbia can't get anything started here midway through this Sunday afternoon affair. Jajewski pitching strong for Madonna as they lead by 1 on the Heart of America Conference Network.
Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference, where innovation meets tradition. Here, growth is not just measured in victories, but in the development of character and sportsmanship. Our student athletes compete at a championship level, pushing their limits every day. The Heart is committed to an uncommon student-athlete experience that features some of the premier athletic programs in the NAIA. Our commitment to excellence goes beyond athletics, establishing a community of support and mentorship. But what truly sets us apart is the heart with which we play. Join us and experience the passion, the drive, and the spirit of champions. That passion and commitment extends off the playing field and into graduation. The Heart of America Athletic Conference, champions in competition, leaders in life.
We roll on here on this Sunday afternoon from Fayette. Columbia got out to a quick 4-0 lead, and then a 5 spot in the third for Madonna changed everything. Just like they started slow against Dakota State yesterday, they started slow today, but the Trojans battled back. That's a grounder to first. Matthew States playing there today, able to make the play unassisted. Just talking with my producer Colby up here, and he's got some baseball experience as well, and he kind of told me during the break, both pitchers are in a groove now. And so suddenly those hits, those streaks, those plays, they're harder to come by for the hitters because the pitchers are just in full command of the game. Showed bunt there. Strike one anyways. To Donovan Thompson. Or correction, to Gus Simon, who's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. It is worth mentioning the scores of the games here at the Valentine Invite. Recap them all for you. You got to start all the way back on Thursday when Columbia beat CMU 9-7 in a 9-inning thriller. That's a high fly ball from Simon down the line and left at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Simon turning a good day into a great day at the plate. A solo home run which doubles the Madonna lead here in the fifth. Well, one of the smaller guys on the team. Simon just 5'10". He got a hold of that one and got it over the Green Monster at Estes Field. So now that is 6 unanswered runs for Madonna. Simon got it started, right? That third inning where they scored 5 runs, Simon led it off with a double. And now he's got a home run to show for it. He has seen the ball well today. Better than well. Madonna does have a pitcher working in the pen, just in case here. Swing and a hard foul by Logan Ellis. Last week, Gus Simon was 0 for 9 in his first 3 games of the Indiana Wesleyan series, then went 3 for 3 in the day cap on Sunday with a double and 2 runs scored, and that sort of changed his approach. Etheridge whacks one to short. Picked up by Friend. There's out number 2. And then you just got to say, it's been a great week at the plate for Madonna. I mean, picking up after scoring 24 combined runs in 14 innings of doubleheader action yesterday. These guys are seeing the ball well as a collective unit, and Simon didn't have a hit yesterday. He had one of the tougher performances. He was 0 for 2 with an RBI in Game 1, 0 for 2 with 2 runs scored in Game 2, which isn't terrible, but it's not as impressive as some of the other offensive performances we've seen. This is one so far, if you're Columbia College, you're sort of scratching your head, trying to figure out how it got to here. Simon, by the way, just 4 home runs last year at Concordia, Michigan. That's a deep fly ball into center by Stepik, but it's caught at the track by O'Neill. Inning over. So the Trojans do some more damage. Gus Simon goes deep for his second extra base hit of the game. It's now 6-4 Madonna. You're watching the Heart of America Conference Network. So Madonna will go to their bullpen in the bottom of the fifth. Day done for Ethan Jajewski. Unfortunately, because he only goes 4, he is not in line for the win, but gave a really good effort today after a lot of trouble in the first inning. 4 earned runs on 6 hits, but retired 6 of the final 7 batters he faced. And so Kowalski will relieve him here. Bats left-handed, but throws right. Junior out of Freeland. And that is a fly ball into right from Pearl. Caught easily by Stepek, out number 1. Kowalski's second appearance on the mound this season. He went 3 2/3 innings in a losing effort to Indiana Wesleyan, a game that Madonna lost 11-0 last weekend. That game he relieved Alex Dooley. There's a shot up the middle from Zach Friend, and how about that? He's 3 for 3. Columbia has needed someone to swing the bat well today, and Zach Friend, boy, he's done that and more. Second 3-hit game of the season for Zach Friend. And he only had 1 3-hit game last year, and that was against Health Science and Pharmacy out of St. Louis. Strike 1 to Carlton. I mean, you're at the point now where you got to ask, is Zach Friend in line for a Conference Player of the Week nomination with the way he's played today and this entire weekend? Yes, he was 1 for 5 in the first 2 games, but if you add this, he's now 4 of 8 with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. Carlton looks at a breaking ball for strike 2. In that last appearance for Kowalski, 2 runs, 1 earned. And did he go? No. Struck out 2 on 39 total pitches. Carlton keeps himself alive. Thought it was interesting that Jajewski got pulled after 4. Almost thought he may throw more, but I guess not. Jajewski tops out at 60 total pitches, which he threw more than that, I think, in his first start. So, interesting. Carlton chops it to third. Davis to second for 1, but it drops out of the mid of Spicer. And a little bit of fortune goes in Columbia's favor here in the bottom of the 5th. They were desperate to try to get something going. And Carlton reaches on an E4. They, I believe, will check on Carlton here. And oh boy, Carlton feeling what looks to be his right thigh or hamstring. And Zach Dunn already had to leave the game due to an injury. Now you're talking about one of your best hitters feeling a little bit of pain. He was hustling to try to run out a double play ball that never came because it never got turned by Spicer. He could have jogged to first base and he would have been safe. And Carlton is going to limp to the bench. That's now 2 injuries in the same game for Darren Munns' team. And I mean, if that is hamstring, that's a real problem. And they're going to replace Carlton with Joey Marcinkiewicz. who did play earlier this week. Today was, I think, just supposed to be an off day for him. But that is trouble for Columbia. Starting shortstop out, starting right fielder down as well. Kind of two freak injuries. That's a no-contact injury, too. Ball one here to Tyler Wren. And how does a team rally after that happens? They had a 4-0 lead. Everything was looking pretty in the first inning. Wren throws the bat at it, goes to short. They'll take the out at first. Runners move up. But even now, a huge crowd that normally travels for Columbia College rather mute because of what's happened. Not only is it two starters out, it's two returners for Columbia College who were great last year on that fantastic team. And also two injuries that in the moment you can do nothing about. That's what's most frustrating about it. Strike called to Braden Hemmer. He has a chance to tie this game here with 2 outs in the 5th. Columbia is only stranded 1 base runner as Hemmer lofts it into center, straight at Etheridge for out number 3. So the Cougars strand 2 in scoring position. The bigger story, though, Dylan Carlton leaves the game due to injury. Madonna leads at 6-4. We're midway through this one on the Heart of America Conference Network. Welcome back. If you're just joining us here on this Sunday afternoon, this is the final day of the Valentine Invite. The only 2 teams who have gone undefeated this weekend in Fayette so far squaring off. Madonna won a doubleheader yesterday, swept Dakota State in rainy conditions here in Fayette. And Columbia College picked up wins on Thursday and Friday against CMU and Dakota State, respectively. So this is sort of your de facto Valentine Invite Championship game, and it has lived up to the hype. 6-4 our score. It's a 9-inning game. As a reminder, the game at 2:30, which there is another one, between Madonna and CMU. That will be a 7-inning game to finish out the day. Swing and a miss from Cooper Etheridge. 1 for 3 today, an infield single, a flyout, and a strikeout. It appears that Marcinkiewicz replaced Carlton in right. Not completely confirmed there, because Marcinkiewicz played center field on Friday. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Etheridge. Still looking to get going today after a very good day yesterday. Payoff. Chop foul. And yep, it looks to be Marcinkiewicz in right. In the turf, ball 4. And Etheridge walks. Jackson Fork looking to continue what would be his longest appearance of his collegiate career, at least at Columbia College. Gone pretty well so far. Gave up the solo home run to Gus Simon, but that's it. Check back at first. No problem there for Etheridge. We're also kind of talking up here in the booth. If you've been paying attention to college baseball over the last weekend, it was the first day for the D1 teams. Let's start with the ground ball to short. Friend tosses to second for 1. It's a double play. 6-4-3. Friend, Pearl, and States team up to turn it. And that's a lot better on the defensive end for Columbia College. Sometimes with guys out of position, you just have to build a little bit of confidence. So Mitchell takes high and inside. Back to the point on the college baseball being started. Well, if you watch the game, there was a play that went viral on social media a couple days ago of a guy hitting a home run in a D1 baseball game and then turning first. And as he was trying to dig for second, he didn't know if the ball was going out or not. He completely messed up his leg. A grueling injury on just the first day of the season. Kind of similar to what happened to Carlton. Friend, the throw to first here. Not in time. Amir Mitchell runs out an infield single. He's now 2 for 4. But see, the turf can help you with speed like that, right? It gives you that extra speed. But Carlton was trying to run out a potential double play ball, and then he messes up his thigh, thinking potential hamstring problem. Of course, we don't want to speculate, but none of that's easy to handle. And you don't want those injuries, any of them, to happen early in the season. Throw back to first. Almost got him. Infield umpire was waiting a second or two before he made the call. And they know Amir Mitchell has some speed over there. Being very diligent on checking up on him. He stole 12 bases last season. He stays here, and it's ball 1 to Reed. There's a quick start for Parker Anderson. Just went 2 1/3 after things unraveled in the 3rd inning. And Fork has helped him out. I told you Columbia College has stranded just 3 runners. Madonna has left 7 on the base pads. Mitchell running here. Called strike. Throw to second. Is not in time. Good pitch for Mitchell to run on. It was a breaking ball. Took a long time to get to Wren. And obviously he's a very experienced catcher. But just not enough time to make the throw with Mitchell's speed. Amir Mitchell stands at 6'3". He has long, lanky strides. This one's floated into left by Reed. Hutzel under it to make the grab, and the inning is over. Excellent work out of the bullpen for Jackson Fork, keeping this one tight. Trojans by 2. Great finish ahead here on this Sunday afternoon from Fayette on the Heart of America Conference Network. States O'Neill Mullinax due up for Columbia in the 6th. Second inning of work for Jacob Kowalski. And with the adversity that the Cougars have faced today, what a win this could be if Columbia were to pull it out. Fastball up and away for States, who picked up his first collegiate RBI of his career with a sac fly back in the 1st. That is the last time Columbia got a run from States. That was the last of 3 in the 1st. Solo home run from Friend in the 2nd, and nothing since. Madonna has really shored things up, and it's not easy to do that against a top 25 team. Of course, massive implications for the rankings here. If CC is unable to pull this out, decent chance they will slip out of the rankings. CMU also in danger of falling out of them as well. They're 0-2 to start the Valentine invite. But obviously it's more about, hey, what's the resume? What are the implications of making the NAIA tournament? That's the more important thing, at least in the eyes and opinions of many of these players. States hacks it foul. Matthew States from Tolton Catholic High School was a infielder and a right-handed pitcher there, but finding his footing over at first base right now. States a little roller to third. Davis charges and tosses to first. So States now 0 for 2 with an RBI. O'Neill coming to the plate. And it looks like before O'Neill comes to the plate, a change made in the order once again for Darren Munns. This one looks to be intentional and not forced. O'Neill is going to be pinch hit and replaced by Hunter Schulte, who comes off the bench today for the Cougars. Schulte went 0 for 2 with a walk in Friday's tight win over Dakota State. And he smacks the first pitch he sees to left, but straight to Ellis for the second out. So credit Schulte for being ready to swing as soon as he stepped into the batter's box, but just 2 hits in the last couple innings for Columbia College. Now Mullinax is going to be pinch hit for. Miller to the plate for Columbia College. This is number 55, freshman that graduated from Jefferson City High School, former J at the plate here. Miller is the third different player to hit in the 7 spot here today. It started with Dunn. He didn't even get through his at-bat. Had to be pulled due to an injury. And then Mullinax hit after him, and Miller grounds out to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning once again for Kowalski. Bullpens have been strong for these two teams. Columbia College's deficit does not budge in the 6th as Madonna leads by 2 on the Heart of America Conference Network. So if you were on the Columbia College bench and you thought today was going to be an off day, think again. Darren Munz has made 4 different changes in position players in the field in this game, and he made a couple more during that last inning. Hunter Schulte now in center field for O'Neill. Marcinkowicz remains in right. Eli Miller is the new third baseman for Mullinax, and Friend remains at short. Foul for Luke Spicer, one that hurt a bit. He had the last big chance that either team has really had here. Spicer grounded out to second, and a bases-loaded opportunity in the 4th. And I wonder now if Darren Munz is making these changes to just ignite a fire into his team. All the same, Jackson Fork is continuing to deal and giving Columbia College the chance to punch back in this game. Spicer swings and misses. Strikeout number 2 for Fork. Almost like his namesake. It feels like that off-speed pitch that is throwing kind of looks like a forkball. I just have to wonder if it actually is. The thing about Fork, though, is even though he's pitched 4 innings, he has pitched efficiently. Only 58 pitches. Pop up, first base line out of play. Donovan Thompson to the plate, otherwise known as Donnie. Madonna's got a hit in the last 4 innings, at least. And every single player in the starting lineup has reached. Fork has really mixed up the speeds today on the Madonna hitters. And that has kept them and their timing a little weary. Stark difference from when they were really facing the same pitch, the same rhythm from Parker Anderson, and they started to hit that rhythm. And what Darren Munz needed was someone to come in and take control of things and command the mound. Fork has done that. in the turf. At State Fair Community College a couple seasons ago, 6.08 ERA. He started 4 games out of the 10 he pitched and had a 1-2 record. The 1-2 is just inside. For a minute there, Columbia College fans, the umpire thought the umpire was going to stand up and ring Thompson out. Here comes Fork again. Check swing, he went around. Back-to-back Ks for Jackson Fork. Well, Darren Munns had to make those changes in the field. Again, a couple of them due to injuries, a couple of them not. Field hasn't had to do anything in this inning so far. Gus Simon takes off the plate, ball 1. He is the only man to truly beat Jackson Fork today. His solo home run in the 5th put Madonna up 2. And I'm sure Fork hasn't forgotten about that. Sometimes velocity isn't the only thing that matters in baseball. Jackson Fork is showing that. A finance major at Columbia College, a senior. This is it for him. Trying to build up and go out with a bang. And the fact that he's worked into the 7th inning today is a massive boost for Darren Munns. He has saved the bullpen. 3-1 count. Simon blasts one into right center field. Schulte tracking back. It's over his head and to the wall. What a day Gus Simon is having for Madonna. His 3rd extra base hit. A double with 2 outs here in the 7th to give the Trojans a little bit of life. Well, he had the favorable count, that's for sure. And he made it count. And let's see if that is it for Jackson Fork. It looks like it will be. He goes 4 1/3. Gives up a double to Gus Simon. That's the only guy he couldn't beat today. And I think he'll get a good ovation from his teammates and the Columbia College crowd. Cougars going back to the pen. Jackson Fork able to keep this thing tight with his longest appearance in a CC uniform. He goes 4 1/3. And they'll go with their 3rd pitcher of the day, Columbia College. We'll tell you about him after this on the Heart of America Conference Network. Oh my gosh darn it. So a new pitcher here. It is Hayden Wilson, the junior out of O'Fallon, Fort Zumwalt West graduate, and a former MACC Greyhound, looking to finish out the 7th inning and keep this at a 2-run game. Ellis takes the first pitch he sees. It's a high fly ball to center, but Schulte backs up to make the snag. 1 pitch, 1 out for Hayden Wilson, and it helps Jackson Fort complete a great day as the Crusaders strand a runner at second. 6-4 the score. We'll stretch here at Estes Field and be back in a moment with more from this one on the Heart of America Conference Network.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
Carter Hutzel will lead off the bottom of the 7th. The Madonna Trojans have scored more runs on Columbia College than any other team has this season outside of Central Methodist, who scored 7 on them back on Thursday. But right now, the Trojans find themselves in front, and this would just be a huge boost and a real way to bounce off of a huge doubleheader win over Dakota State yesterday. Hutzel 0 for 2. Kowalski continuing to deal. The numbers on Jackson Fork: 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Walked 2, struck out 3. But we haven't really talked about Jacob Kowalski as much as maybe we should have. The Mid-Michigan Community College transfer is really dealing here. Fouled into the catcher's mitt, strike 3. And on cue, the first strikeout of Kowalski's relief appearance. And remember, Madonna's got to play another game against CMU later today. And they'd love to keep as many arms fresh and healthy for that. Jason Pearl takes a strike. Kowalski had 54 innings pitched last year, so he had more of a starter's role for Mid-Michigan College, as that one's hit well into left. But too high for Ellis, not enough carry on it. And Ellis, the left fielder, makes the snag. That is 7 retired in a row by Jacob Kowalski, but now Zach Friend is back at the plate. An amazing day so far for the senior third baseman turned shortstop. Swing and a foul. He's already got his second 3-hit game of the season. Can he get his first 4-hit game of the year? It would be his first 4-hit game with Columbia College, and almost got hit by the pitch. Did he? Nope. Umpire almost looked like he was trying to point to first base. Hit out well to center field on the run, and a diving catch by Etheridge. That breaks up Zach Friend's perfect day and keeps things rolling in Madonna's favor. What a play out there by the center fielder, Cooper Etheridge. Through 7 here in Fayette, Madonna leads 6-4 on the Heart of America Conference Network. Madonna 6 outs away from a statement win here in Fayette, and a chance to continue a perfect stretch here at the Valentine Invite. Not often you get a chance to play a ranked team like this and have such success. High fly ball off the bat of Ty Stepik into left center field. It is gone. Stepik hits the scoreboard here at Estes Field, and moments after a great defensive play from Madonna to finish out the 7th, they start the 8th by extending their lead to 3. And all the energy, all the volume and noise is coming from the Madonna bench. That is a huge insurance run here in the final few stages of this game. A game that Columbia College led 4-0 has turned out of their favor, with Madonna scoring 7 unanswered runs. They had a couple chances against ranked teams last season. They played 17th ranked Indiana University Southeast, but lost both games they faced against them. They didn't make the NAIA National Tournament, got bounced in the WHAC tournament. They're going 1-2. They were the 5 seed in that tournament. They may have something cooking this year, though. There's a walk to Etheridge. His second walk of the game. We have seen a lot of momentum swings this weekend in Fayette. And when Madonna went down 4-0, they barely even blinked. Kevin Davis now has a base hit into right center field. That is trailing all the way to the gap. Etheridge is going to score from first base. It's an RBI double for Kevin Davis. And the Trojans have Columbia College doubled up here in the 8th. It is 8-4. Darren Munns sending another arm out there to the bullpen. It was easy for Hayden Wilson to get the final out of the 7th when he came in relief for Fork, but then he allows 3 consecutive to reach here in the 8th, and Munns decides to pull him. Got him on a tight leash here, knowing that this lead can't get any further if Columbia wants a chance at a late comeback. Wilson out after facing just 4 batters. The top of the order continuing to go bananas this weekend for Madonna. Second RBI double of the game for Kevin Davis. It's now 8-4 Trojans. We've got a pitching change here, and we'll return after this on the Heart of America Conference Network. So changes on both sides for these two teams after that. Brendan Wilson is the new pitcher, so Columbia College trades one pitcher for another, and it's a bunt attempt from Amir Mitchell. The throw to first is off the glove of States. Staying at third is the new pinch runner, Ty Rowe, and that is a cruel way to begin a relief appearance if you're Brendan Wilson. That's smart baseball right there. Give Amir Mitchell a lot of credit. He's been speedy on the base pads today. And now with runners at the corners and no outs, the infield plays in for Brett Reed. And Madonna really has a chance to stretch it out now. Ball 1 inside. So that was the other thing. Rowe pinch running for Davis right now. He will re-enter, though. Kevin Davis in the field. That feels like a big run over there at third. If he crosses, Madonna's lead is at 5, and even though Columbia is a top 25 ranked team, that's a tough deficit to mount. Swing and a miss. Crusaders have just found a way. Sometimes today, a little more consistency in Madonna's game, but there's still 2 innings to play. Mitchell on the move, called strike, check back to third. Got him! Great play by Tyler Wren as he caught Rowe off the bag at third. Mitchell safe at second with the stolen base. But Columbia College gets a big first out and avoids what would have been a dangerous situation. That's just mature catching from Tyler Wren, understanding the situation, knowing exactly what Madonna was trying to do, and exploiting it. Now a ground ball right side. Pearl picks it up and throws out Brett Reed. Mitchell moves to third on the play. And after it was first and third with nobody out, the Cougars have the chance to get out of the inning, only allowing 1 run. And that was on the solo shot for Ty Stepek. Second home run of the game for Madonna. Spicer rips it up the middle. That gets down for a hit. So Mitchell does score. The error comes back to cost Columbia College, and it's 9-4 Crusaders. Spicer becomes the 5th different Madonna player to have a multi-hit game here in this first of 2 today in this doubleheader. Now, Donnie Thompson was going to hit here for the Crusaders, but their head coach, Drew Hard, will go to the bench and instead bring in a pinch hitter. That will be Jason Serafinkhan. Correction, Jason Serafinkhan. That's a mouthful. So Serafinkhan will hit for Donnie Thompson. And we'll see if Thompson ends up re-entering at first or not. Thompson had gone 0 for 3 with a walk. Serafinkhan fouls the first one off. And I would have to think Central Methodist is paying attention to what's going on here. They have to play Madonna in Game 2. They will likely be ready to go. I mean, this is when you know that you're facing a good team. And it may be up to the Eagles to keep Madonna from going perfect on the weekend. Brendan Wilson's 0-2, runner moving, pitch in the turf, throw to second, is not in time. Wren was halfway to the dugout. He thought he had caught that man stealing. Here comes Darren Munns. Wants to talk that one over with the infield umpire. Well, to be fair, Tyler Wren got a potentially generous call over there at third on the pickback to get the first out of the inning. Not every single call in this sort of game is going to go your way. That's now 15 hits for Madonna as well. I believe this is Serafinkhan's first appearance of the Valentine invite. And he chops one to Pearl. The throw to first on the money. And that's the end of the top of the 8th. But the Crusaders add on 2 more runs. A solo shot from Ty Stepik. An RBI single from Luke Spicer. It is now 8-4, rather 9-4. Trojans got 3 in that inning. Live here on the Heart of America Conference Network.
Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference, where innovation meets tradition. Here, growth is not just measured in victories, but in the development of character and sportsmanship. Our student athletes compete at a championship level, pushing their limits every day. The Heart is committed to an uncommon student athlete experience that features some of the premier athletic programs in the NAIA. Our commitment to excellence goes beyond athletics, establishing a community of support and mentorship. But what truly sets us apart is the heart with which we play. Join us and experience the passion, the drive, and the spirit of champions. That passion and commitment extends off the playing field and into graduation. The Heart of America Athletic Conference, champions in competition, leaders in life.
Bottom of the 8th here from Fayette. The Madonna Trojans, Madonna Crusaders, 9 unanswered runs. As Marcinkowicz fouls the first pitch he sees off. He came in for Dylan Carlton in the 5th after Carlton felt something in his left leg as he was trying to run out a double play ball down the first base line. Sometimes baseball is cruel, and that would probably be the case today for CC. Not easy to win a game when you've got two of your starting outfielders or starting fielders get injured. Jack Dunn was pulled in the bottom of the first due to, I think, a hand or wrist problem. Couldn't complete his at-bat, and then Carlton was pulled in the 5th. And by that point, the Cougars just could not contain or grab any momentum. Kowalski strikes out Marcinkiewicz. Second strikeout for Kowalski. Little chatter with his dugout, who was chanting something to him after that last K. Tyler Wren 1 for 3, and now he's 2 for 4 with a base hit into left center field. Took a wide turnaround first, but will put the stop sign on there. And if Columbia wants to at least give themselves an interest late, it's got to happen now. Sutton Hanks is going to courtesy run for Tyler Wren over at first. Hanks, a senior out of Ozark, Missouri. And so Wren will catch the 9th. This has been about a perfect day for Madonna, as much as it's been a frustrating one for Columbia College. The only thing that could make it better is if Kowalski can get you over the finish line, which, because of his experience over at Mid-Michigan Community College, he is more than capable of doing it. Ground ball foul. Runs the count to 1-2. Just 4 innings for Jajewski, but Kowalski efficient as well. Just 37 pitches in 3 1/3 innings currently. And that's mainly because Columbia College hasn't been able to string together strong, complete at-bats against Kowalski. Crusaders have 3 infielders on the left side, and it's a little dribbler to second. Spicer picks it up and turns the double play himself. Crusaders are rolling here late against a top 25 ranked team in the NAIA, looking for their 3rd win here in Fayette at the Valentine Invite. 9 for Madonna. You're watching the Heart of America Conference Network. Well, a tale of Two momentum waves is what this Sunday afternoon game has been. It was all Columbia through the first 2 innings. They were up comfortably 4-0. And then a 5 spot from the Crusaders in the 5th changed everything. That put them in front, it looks like, for good. Unless the Cougars can pull something out of the miraculous department in the bottom of the 9th. Gus Simon, a chance for a 4-hit day. Doubles in the 7th and the 3rd, a solo home run in the 5th. Boy, is he seeing the ball well. Take strike 1. Big reason why Simon's been so good today is because he's been ahead in a lot of the counts he's faced. Had a lot of 3-hit days last year at Concordia. Only played 6 games his first year at Concordia. That was his freshman year. Played 57 his sophomore year. Boy, was he good. Full count. If Simon were to find a hit, it'd be the first 4-hit game we've seen from any player at the Valentine Invite this weekend. Chop to third. It won't happen. Miller to first for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. And Brendan Wilson, the first pitcher from Columbia College to take care of Gus Simon. That's when you know it's a really good day. Is when your 8-hole hitter goes 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Rather, just 1 RBI for Simon. But 3 extra base hits. And here's the good news. He still gets to play another one. And Madonna gets to play another one. They will play at 2:30 against Central Methodist, although we're just 1 minute away from 2:30, so obviously the start time will get pushed back, as that's a fair ball off the glove of Miller and down the left field corner. Logan Ellis, the 9-hole hitter, sprints his way to second, likely going to be credited with a double. Six different Crusaders with multi-hit games so far today. And by the way, you don't think they're excited to play one more? They don't want to go back to Livonia, Michigan anytime soon. Why would you? Ty Stepek homered in his last at-bat. This Madonna team is good, folks. We have learned that today. To Miller at third. Got to fire quickly, but that is some very good velocity on that throw from the freshman. Almost made a great play to deny Ellis just moments ago, but sometimes easier said than done on a play like that. But that's why he's playing in the hot corner, because he can throw it that fast. He's got speed, got pace, got fire. Strike one on Cooper Etheridge. Columbia has States O'Neill, Miller due up. Correction, States Schulta, Miller due up in the bottom of the 9th. That one is a slow roller to short, and Etheridge is going to beat it out. Throw back to third, and they have got Ellis in a pickle. Back to home for Wren. Now back to third, and a tag out by Zach Friend. Good work from Columbia College to work through the pickle. A weird play right there where the pitcher, Wilson, decided not to take it, And so his infielders did the rest, and they caught Ellis as he was rolling around third. 9-4 our score, and the bottom of the ninth is next on the Heart of America Conference Network. So Matthew States leads off the bottom of the ninth. Early on today, it looked like Columbia College was smooth sailing towards a perfect weekend here at the Valentine Invite, but Madonna University out of Michigan had other ideas. The Crusaders have scored more runs on Madonna or on Columbia College than any other team has this season. They got that 5-run third inning, 1 in the 5th on the solo shot from Simon, and then 3 in the 8th, and that was the killer for Columbia College because they had this at a 2-run deficit. Could have really made a charge at it here late, but down 5 in the 9th is tough. Leadoff walk might be able to give him life, though. Matthew States has a 3-1 count. Kowalski has not surrendered a walk. Neither is the rest of the Madonna team today. And that'll continue here. States a grounder to short. 1 out in the 9th. And that might be why Madonna's won this game. Not only did they register 17 hits, and by the way, they had a hit in each of the final 7 innings at the plate. They also haven't walked anybody. There have been a couple of walks from Columbia College. Little things in a game like this can make the difference maker, and of course, Columbia College may have to deal with more. Lost Zach Dunn early in this game and lost their starting right fielder, Dylan Carlton, as well. And so, yes, this one may not go in their favor, but the big question lies on the status of those two players. Schulte swings and misses. 2-2. A fly out to left for Schulte in the 6th. Kowalski's Q2. Just off the plate. He'll pick up the win here if he gets 2 more outs, and it'll be one of the most dominant performances of his career. Schulte takes ball 4. And so, after a great streak of walkless pitching from Jacob Kowalski, he finally gives up a free pass. And a chance for Eli Miller to maybe find something here in the 9th. It is important to remember you don't want to judge a team by its first few games of the season. You still got to get through March and April before you make any decisions about where a team's at. Last year, Columbia College went 43-11, though. And they started the season 7-1. Having a great start to the season is helpful as Miller skies one towards deep right field. Stepic going back. It's just foul. He was close. Stepic to making an over-the-shoulder catch, and then you just throw up your hands and tip your cap if you're Columbia College. Emi Miller came into this game 2 for 7 on the season, went 1 for 5 in his first collegiate start against Central Methodist. Ground ball foul. Cougars will play Graceland, a team that beat them last year, in a midweek matchup this Wednesday. And then they are going to play at home in the CC3 teamer next weekend. 2 games against William Woods, 2 games against Northwestern College. The 1-2 from Kowalski is lofted towards second, and a snag by Spicer in the middle of the base pad for out number 2. Kind of a weird, awkward play. But Spicer makes it, and Carter Hutzel is now the last hope for Columbia College. Good news for the Cougars is that William Woods has started the season 1-2, so they're still struggling a bit. Maybe a chance for the Cougars to recollect themselves at home next weekend. 1-1 here on Hutzel, who's looking for his first hit. Although Northwestern's going to be tough next weekend for the Cougars, though. They're 5-2. And Columbia College is down to their final strike. Madonna has found its groove here in Fayette this week. Looking to start this doubleheader off with a bang and just missed outside. A chance right here for Kowalski to complete a phenomenal relief appearance. And he hits Hutzel with the pitch. So the Cougars stay alive for at least one more batter. And just keep an eye on this. This is a big hitter. Jason Pearl stepping into the batter's box. Simon will go talk with his pitcher. The battery has made the difference today. Gus Simon going 3 for 5 with 3 extra base hits. And he's also called a great game behind the plate. If you had to pick a player of the game, Gus Simon is that. But again, got to keep an eye on Pearl because if he were to reach, Friend hits next. And he could change this game on one swing. Pearl takes up and in. No action from the Madonna bullpen. Again, up 5 here in the 9th, and that's where these insurance runs that they got in the 8th become so crucial. Pearl takes a strike. 3 flyouts today for Jason Pearl. Couple well-hit balls just straight to outfielders. Could he find a gap? If it was anybody else but Zach Friend in the on-deck circle, you would not feel any sort of pressure here. And Pearl takes ball 3. He has walked just 1 time in his collegiate career. (3-1) pitch. Hit well down the line and left. That will get down for a base hit. The first hit of Jason Pearl's Columbia College career keeps the Cougars alive, and maybe, just maybe, the rally is on. Now Madonna gets a guy working in the pen as Zach Friend steps in. He was an inch away from being 4 for 4, a diving catch from Etheridge. Gave him a little bit of trouble. That was the first time he was put out today. Solo home run in the second. A base hit in the first and fifth. And if he were to hit another one out, suddenly this game gets a whole lot more interesting. Madonna takes a mound visit, mostly to get their pitcher in the bullpen a little bit of extra time. They got him out in the pen in a scurry. As soon as Jason Pearl got that base hit, that bullpen arm got straight to work. And again, Columbia College has not been beat by more than 2 runs this season. They have kept it close in every game they've played. And how about this? Dylan Carlton is on deck for the Cougars. Remember, he was pulled from the game in the 5th inning due to what looked to be a leg injury as he was running down the first base line, but it looks like he could be good enough to hit here in the bottom of the 9th. Friend pops it up, though, to right. Stepik makes the catch in the sunlight, and Madonna wins it. Little bit of trouble in the 9th. Things got a bit nervy, but the Crusaders have a win over a top 25 ranked team in the NAIA, and they will finish with the best record at the Valentine Invite this season. Crusaders are now 5-2 overall, and they will look to go a perfect 4-0 here in Fayette when they take on Central Methodist in a 7-inning doubleheader in about a half hour. Kowalski pitches 5 scoreless innings out of the bullpen, and the Crusaders finish with 17 hits. They scored 9 unanswered runs after Columbia College took a big lead. Cougars drop back under 500. They're now 3-4 on the season. But Madonna is rolling right now as they beat Columbia College 9-4 in our 9-inning game here in this doubleheader. Reminder, still second game of the doubleheader to come. Madonna facing Central Methodist, and we'll join you for that one then. But for now, my name is Matt Clark. For everybody else here at Central Methodist, we hope you join us for Game 2 and our final game of the Valentine Invite in just about a half an hour. You're watching the Heart of America Conference Network.